I just want to touch kids, and I have. All of them, even the girls.
Whoa.
One boy was unhappy with his D, and I promised to help him get it up. Then it was cram, cram, cram.
What it is, guys? It's your boy BlastphamousHD. Today we are here to check out a video called How Long Would Chris Griffin's Prison Sentence Be? Let's do this.
Clueless kid? Wrong! I've gone through his entire backlog of legitimate crimes, and let's just say his rap sheet is long enough to keep Joe busy for days. Starting off with the episode Trading Places. Chris and Meg Griffin take sibling bonding to a whole new level here, and by new level, I mean hijacking their dad's bike and tossing any thought of safety right out the window. So Peter contests in a competition to win a dirt bike, and he comes home to show off his new trophy.
Hope you made extra. I brought a guest.
What the hell? Who is this?
This is my dirt bike girlfriend.
Amber.
I'm a dirt bike guy now.
You're just a dirtbag, Peter. Chris, who, let's be honest, isn't the sharpest crayon in the box, spots Peter's newly beloved bike and has a really cool idea.
There it is, Meg. What do you say we take it for a spin?
Did I say really cool? I meant really bad. He somehow convinces Meg to join him for the ride of a lifetime, though.
Meg, just get on.
Now, let's be clear here, folks. No helmets, no licenses, just raw Chris, Meg, and Peter's precious bike. What could possibly go wrong, right? As if borrowing the bike without permission wasn't rebellious enough, Chris decides to show off his skills. And by skills, I mean attempting to launch over a fire hydrant.
Check it out. I'm gonna jump that fire hydrant.
Meg, of course, does her best at being the reasonable sister, but big mistake trying to explain reason to someone like Chris.
Gonna wreck Dad's bike.
Too late. I already narrowed my eyes.
Surprise, surprise, the stunt doesn't go well. In fact, it goes exactly as you'd expect.
Oh, ooh.
The bike?
Damn.
Wrecked. Chris and Meg? Wrecked. It's a complete wreck.
Idiot, look at what you did.
You mean look what two black teenagers did when they stole Dad's bike?
Now
Wow.
the home, bruised and battered, and guess who's awaiting? That's right, Peter and Lois. And well, I gotta tell you, the yelling that follows is quite something.
So, you like taking dirt bikes that don't belong to you, huh? Here, have a whole carton of cigarettes.
Oh.
What?
Okay, but hold on, it gets even weirder.
Maybe we try a little experiment. You kids switch places with your dad and me. For the next week, you'll be the parents and we'll be the kids.
Seriously?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Seriously? You know, that's a whole nother story for another day. Point is, for wrecking the bike, Chris could actually face some serious charges here, like reckless driving and endangerment. I mean, he's not the only one who disregarded safety rules, but he also put himself in Meg and harm's way. So, reckless endangerment and reckless driving could easily land him in jail for 2 years and facing a fine of $5,000. And that's
I didn't know that's
the
how
crime
much
I'm
that
talking
was.
about now. As we go on, it's just going to get worse and worse. So really, like, strap in, buckle up, no pun intended. Next up, Chris wrecks Brian's work to impress a girl, or let's be real, to get a shot at touching her boobs. It's incredibly stupid, but in his mind, it is totally worth breaking the law for. It all starts in the episode, You May Now Kiss the Guy, when Mayor West has a grand idea. He unveils a solid gold statue of Diggum, the Sugar Smacks frog, to honor fallen Quahog
the
soldiers.
Sugar Smack Frog.
Of Diggum, the Sugar Smacks Frog.
Yeah, what is that?
I'd also like to take this opportunity to announce extreme budget cutbacks having almost nothing to do with this solid gold statue.
I don't even live there, and I agree.
Having
This is a
almost
total waste of
nothing to do.
taxpayers' money. Chris, who is present at the unveiling ceremony, walks up to a girl, Alyssa, and she is just outraged over the statue. And Chris is just totally surprised that he's being spoken to.
Have you ever seen such a waste of the taxpayers' money?
You're talking to me. This is more exciting than that time me and my friends did mushrooms.
So later he asks her out, and she invites him to her Young Republicans meeting because nothing says romantic vibes like politics.
What do you do at a Young Republicans meeting?
We help those who already have the means to help themselves. Also, we perpetuate the ideal that Jesus chose America to destroy non-believers and brown people.
Meanwhile, Brian's fabulous gay cousin Jasper arrives with big news. He's marrying Ricardo. The Griffins are thrilled.
Ricardo and I are getting married! Oh, that is terrific. It's about time you two settled down.
Hell no.
Guys can marry other guys now.
Ooh.
So, yeah, this is awkward, but, I mean, if they can do that, that's pretty much it for you, isn't it? I mean, you might as well pack it in. Game over.
Come on, Stewie.
That's
that was hard
racist.
even for you. Brian decides to offer their house as a wedding venue, and that's when Lois starts getting a bit uncomfortable with the whole arrangement.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable having this wedding at the house.
Lois, I don't know what the big deal is, so they're gay.
Now the people of Quahog are turning up the heat on Mayor West for spending the entire town's treasury on the Diggum statue.
In protest of the mayor's decision to spend the town's treasury on a gold frog.
I don't like it, and I don't like the contraction apostrophe EM.
And so what does the mayor do to salvage the situation?
Breaking news today when Mayor West announced he will sign a citywide ban on gay marriages next week. While controversial, it has nonetheless effectively distracted all of us from the Diggum fiasco.
Yep, he bans gay marriage to divert everyone's attention. Jasper is just heartbroken at this news, but Brian decides he's not taking this lying down.
I am gonna make Mayor West change his mind.
But Brian, the Bible says gay marriage is an abomination.
Oh, don't give me that young Republican crap.
Rallying for justice, Brian goes about gathering signatures for a petition supporting gay marriage, but then Alyssa learns of the petition and is totally against it, so she gives Chris a proposition.
Chris, you've got to destroy that petition.
Why?
Because if you do, I'll let you touch my boobs.
Wow.
Do I want that?
Oh yeah, you want that.
Really, young lady? Is it worth it, Chris, trashing your Jasper's wedding dreams for a little second base action? Yes.
My petition! What the hell are you doing?
I'm gonna get to touch right-wing boob because of this.
Dude, come on! Frack it. It's not cool, dude. And this is his defense.
Idiot! Now I'm gonna have to get 10,000 more signatures before tomorrow morning. What were you thinking?
You don't understand, Brian. When was the last time you were even with a woman?
Not one to back down, Brian stays up all night gathering another 10,000 signatures. Talk about dedication. Brian succeeds after taking the mayor hostage and Jasper gets his wedding. What was the signatures even for? In the real world, Chris would be looking at a criminal mischief charge for deliberately sabotaging Brian's hard work. But there's more. Since he destroyed the petition over Brian's cousin's sexual orientation, Chris would be slapped with a hate crime enhancement. This takes the charge up a notch to a felony, and so Chris is going to face up to 3 years behind bars and also pay a $25,000 fine. There's no argument anymore that Chris Griffin and popularity are maybe not the best of combos. When he gets a taste of it though, he will do anything to keep it. And in the episode Teacher's Pet, that meant going along with a scandalous rumor that he's dating his own mother. Yeah, you heard me. So it's a big homecoming football game at Adam West High, and Chris, bless his heart, is crowned homecoming dunce.
Crowning our homecoming dunce, Chris Griffin.
This is Chris Griffin's 4th win for Adam West High homecoming dunce, even though he's only a sophomore.
Okay, maybe he's not the smartest dude around, but this is just a little too harsh, man. Lois, the supportive supermom, sees this and decides to step in to salvage the situation by signing up as a substitute teacher.
Got an email from the school saying they're looking for a substitute teacher to replace Mr. Trampled On, and I applied, and they accepted.
What?
Somebody tell her this is a bad idea.
Wow.
She's trying to help Chris. She's doing the exact opposite. Nothing screams more uncool in high school like having your mom as a teacher. Hey, I didn't make the rules.
You saw how unpopular I am at school. Having my mother as a teacher will make things...
It turns out that she didn't just sign up as a teacher, she also lied about her credentials and changed her name to her maiden name.
Thought about that, Chris, which is why I applied under the name Lois Pewterschmidt.
But you've taught at Adam West before. People won't fall for it.
Oh, maybe I'll wear a blonde wig. Might even add a sexy beauty mark so I look like Marilyn Monroe.
She's thought this through, Chris, so maybe you don't have to worry. Things, however, start going off the rails right away. Lois walks in and Chris's classmates, they instantly start crushing on her, much to Chris's horror.
Oh my god, they're all leering at my mom.
Then things get a little trickier when the cool kids think Chris is dating Mrs. Pewterschmidt.
Quick, Chris, get in.
They think they're dating?
You see what I see?
Don't.
Getting in the car with Miss Pewterschmidt. Oh, you work fast, dude.
Oh, but it gets worse.
Quick, Chris, get down.
Whoa, Griffin's a selfless lover.
Chris, instead of correcting this massive understanding, just leans right into it. Because, hey, why not? Despite Meg's disgusted warnings, you'd think that he'd listen to one family member with some sense. Chris keeps up the act, though, so he keeps spinning stories about his spicy relationship with a substitute teacher.
Oh, Miss Pewterschmidt was a braless real estate agent who was showing me a large, mostly empty home in Van Nuys, California, and she'd do anything to make the sale. I showed her a thick wad of ones, and we were off to the races on a brown leather couch next to an empty CD tower.
But then the cool kids want more
That
than
doesn't
just
even sound like-
stories. They want proof.
A naked picture of Miss P, or you're a liar.
A naked
Miss
picture?
P, huh?
And so, in peak
Wow.
Chris Griffin's stupidity, he decides to deliver. Late at night, he actually sneaks into the bathroom while Lois is taking a shower, and...
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I feel weird even
You
describing this. Why
joking,
are we
bro.
here, Chris? Well, his conscience pricks at him until he gets one final nudge.
It's my mom. I'm not a dirtbag.
Psst, Chris. That it has even gone this far means you are a dirtbag. Own it.
So he marches into school.
My nigga said own it.
It's the picture, Griffin.
Ooh, come on, bro.
Awesome. Send it to us.
He agrees to share the picture to them, but on the condition that they don't share the picture with anyone else. Well, I guess his heart's in the right place, maybe kind of not so much. Because tell me, Chris, how would you trust teenagers to listen to you and not share such a scandalous picture? Of course, the photo goes viral in less than 3 seconds. Now, Lois and Chris are dragged to the principal's office, and Lois assumes it's about her fake teaching degree, and so she decides to admit guilt.
And I know what it is. I'm guilty.
Well, I appreciate the honesty.
I mean, I did the same thing at my son's preschool, and no one cared.
What?
I just want to touch kids, and I have. All of them. Girls.
What?
The boy was unhappy with his D, and I promised to help him get it up. Then it was cram, cram, cram.
Oh boy, you're making things so
Wait.
much worse, Lois. She soon realizes what's happening and is shocked to say the
Wait.
least. Lois demands that.
Wait, what? I'm not even gonna repeat that nasty shit. The bouncer would have a field day on my black ass. Hell to the nizzle.
I mean, I did the same thing at my son's preschool, and no one cared.
What?
I just want to touch kids, and I have. All of them. Even the girls.
Whoa.
One boy was unhappy with his D, and I promised to help him get it up. Then it was cram, cram, cram.
Oh boy, you're making things so much worse, Lois. She soon realizes what's happening and is shocked, to say the least. Lois demands that Chris come clean, and he actually starts to confess. But in a bizarre twist of motherly pride, she decides to back him up.
Chris Griffin was the biggest thing I ever had.
That's dedication.
Mom got 6 years for with a minor.
But Chris wouldn't be going scot-free.
Way less than EDP got. We're gonna edit that out. Yeah. He has guns.
Either. Sharing private images without consent? Oh yeah, that's dissemination of private images, and it's no joke. We're talking a jail time of 3 years and also a fine of $25,000. In the episode Long John Peter, Chris again ends up doing much more than burning Brian's hard work, and once again, he did it for a girl. Now let's rewind how Chris decided to speedrun his way onto Peter's watch list. The Griffin family take Brian to see a vet. Turns out he had a stomach obstruction from... I'm not gonna say it.
Turns out it was a used diaper.
What type of shit?
On their way out, Chris sights the intern and is immediately smitten. Now we can't stop thinking about her. But in order to see her again, they have to go back to the vet.
Mom, can we go back to the vet and see the pretty vet assistant again?
Well, I guess if Brian gets sick again.
Oh, boy! Hey, Brian, look! Brian's sick! Mom, get your keys!
That shockingly doesn't work. But Chris's dreams come true after Peter's parrot dies. Yeah, Peter becomes a pirate for a while and gets a parrot. Just roll with me. Chris uses the chance to ask Anna out. Actually, it's the other way around.
Listen, I have to get back to work, but, would you maybe want to go out sometime?
Yes!
Great. Here's my number.
Awesome!
Somehow, Chris and Anna actually managed to have a sweet thing going. That is until Peter swoops in with some good old relationship advice.
Treating her like a human being. If you want to get anywhere with a chick, you can't treat him too nice-like.
Really?
And Chris, blessed heart again, actually listens. Because somehow he thought this was solid dating advice. He goes ahead to take this advice when they're getting tickets to a movie.
It's one man and one bitch that needs to do what I say.
What? That's not funny, Chris.
Here's your ticket. Pick that up.
Chris, why are you acting like this?
Pick that up and cook it into something delicious or knit it into something that's useful to me.
Frickin' Peter's a dirtbag, okay? Yeah, sure, but Chris, couldn't you have known any better? And of course, breaks up with him right then and there.
Are you ready to make out now?
Why in the world would I want to do that after what you just said? You're obviously not the person I thought you were. I never want to see you again. can't believe I thought you were special.
Anna, wait! Oh no. What did I do?
Chris is filled with remorse.
She'll never let you choke her now.
And when he speaks with Lois about it, Lois advises him to talk to Anna and tell her how he feels. But instead of, I don't know, going over to see Anna and apologizing like a normal person, Chris decides that the best way to see her again is this.
But she said she never wants to see me again.
Well, I'm sure you can come up with some excuse to see her at the vet.
Is there any more coffee?
Anna? I'm here with my dog. He's not feeling well.
You.
The episode ends with Chris and Anna reconciling, while Brian, the real victim here, collapses on the floor.
Anna? Please, just give me another chance.
Gosh, he doesn't look so good.
I know. But you do.
Of course, Stewie comes out of nowhere to literally kick him while he's down.
Okay, somebody really needs to help me here.
And yeah, it's all cool that he got the girl back. But let's look at the facts of the situation. Smashing Brian's face in with a chair, that ain't cute at all. It's animal cruelty and attracts hefty charges. Chris is
Way worse than animal cruelty.
Time of 5 years and paying fines of
Borderline
over
racism.
$5,000. Now, things get a whole different level of peak absurdity in the episode Brian the Bachelor. Chris Griffin goes on a vandalism rampage as he takes advice from a zit. This dude really got to find better role models, man. It all starts
Way
with
better
Chris
role
shows up
models.
at breakfast and there's a pimple on his face.
Good morning, Chris. Oh my God, look at the size of that pimple. You're like a circus freak.
And how about a little sensitivity, Lois? Now, most people would grab some acne cream and do something about that zit. Maybe even pop it like what I do. It's not healthy. But not Chris. Instead, he names it Doug, and they're best buddies now.
I don't want to get rid of my zit. I like him. He's my friend. His name is Doug.
I just wish I didn't have to look at it.
Well, we have to look at your anus all day.
Hey, someone had to say it. Turns out the pimple can talk.
You're a good pimple, Doug.
Feed me!
You can talk?
That's right, and we're gonna raise some hair!
Feed me.
And just like that, Doug quickly takes over as Chris's life coach. So naturally, Lois starts to worry. I mean, her son's sitting around talking to his newfound buddy, a zit, but Peter thinks there's nothing to worry about because it's Peter Griffin.
Oh, relax, Lois. What's a zit gonna do? Talk to him and tell him to sneak out of the house and cause trouble?
Yeah, Peter, it does exactly that.
Damn near psychic on that one.
Ring the doorbell and run like hell!
Oh, I don't know about this, Doug.
Just do it!
So Doug's brilliant plan is for Chris to prank the neighborhood cop, but Doug doesn't stop there, oh no! Next, he's got Chris grabbing spray paint cans and vandalizing walls.
That's enough, John Mayer. That's racist.
You were right, Doug. Mischief is fun.
And
No, it's not.
What did the mayor ever do to him? Lois is still concerned about Chris and goes to check up on him, only to find him sneaking back inside through the window. But when she tries to confront him, Chris hits her with a classic, "Doug said I don't have to listen to you." Imagine being sassed by your own kid because of a pimple.
Doug, your pimple? Oh, that is it. First thing tomorrow, we're going down to Goldman's Pharmacy and get some astringent to get rid of that thing.
True to her words, the next morning, Lois heads to Goldman's Pharmacy to grab some astringent.
They broke the windows, bro? Hey, what's up, Goofy?
God, Peter, it looks like there's
Yo.
been a break-in.
What's up, Goofy ass man?
The place looks like
What's
a war
up?
zone. Someone
Why does the
broke in
eggs and
vandalized
bacon
the
look
entire
like
store,
Kermit?
Particularly the entire
Katie Howe,
acne
indeed.
medication was destroyed.
Nah, that's crazy.
Who broke in and destroyed
Stay true and eat fresh. Slim Fast is
Oh my
good.
God, Peter, do you
I have
think
some of
Chris
that.
might have done
Might
it?
make some
What do you
tomorrow for
think, Lois?
breakfast.
Who else clearly had a
Understandable.
motive for this? Fast forward to dinner that night, and his new girlfriend Brooke comes over to meet the family. And while the Griffins give her a warm reception, well, as warm as they can be.
Well, it's wonderful to meet you. We've had so many nice things.
Yes, indeed. So, how long have you been a...
Doug also has his, I should say, Zit's own idea of a warm welcome.
Are you happy, Doug?
And right on cue, Joe Swanson bursts in. He's got proof it was Chris who destroyed all the acne medication at Goldman's. Well, remember what I said earlier about antagonizing the neighborhood cop?
I knew it. I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. Oh, God, what happened to my baby?
What happened to your baby? A talking pimple? It doesn't take long for the entire scene to devolve into
Beat him.
chaos.
That'd be a real good time to take your date in your room and watch a good action movie with her, you know, and do nothing dirty, but watch an action movie with her.
I just feel bad for Brian. Imagine your girlfriend seeing your family like this. Let's take a look at the serious trouble Chris would be in now, though. His antics with Doug would have him guilty of vandalism and destruction of property, not to mention breaking and entering, basically burglary. These are serious charges, and Chris will be facing 5 years in prison and a fine of $50,000. Okay, we know the Griffin family's beyond twisted, but what goes down in Brian's house of pain is beyond sick and twisted. Brian's head is nearly split in half, and who's responsible for this? You guessed it, Chris. So it all starts with Chris sneaking into Meg's room to read her diary. Seriously, Chris, you ever heard of something called privacy? Meg catches him and the two start running around the house like fracking maniacs. And then poor not sweet Stewie is just minding his business near the stairs when, wham! Chris bumps right into him, sending Stewie flying down the stairs.
Oh.
Well, I'm off to buy imaginary groceries.
Oh, shit. Ooh. Oh.
Stewie ends up unconscious with a nasty head wound. Oh gosh, this is one of those get the first aid kit right now moments. But Chris decides they'd handle it differently. Instead of reporting it to Lois, he and Meg decides, genius level plan incoming, they decide to just cover the wound with a hat and pretend nothing happened.
I mean...
Oh, look at my little cowboy.
Come on, Stewie, up in your high chair.
They keep up this charade while Stewie's head wound just gets worse and worse.
Maybe we should take him to the hospital. I think the maggots have evolved to the point that they've developed space travel.
Finally, Peter walks in on them, and Chris and Meg are shocked that he's known all along that Stewie was conscious.
We just gotta clean the wound, Meg. Hey, hand me that scrub brush.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Dad.
So, question. How long has Stewie been unconscious?
Oh my God, Chris, he knows. Dad, I'm so sorry. We should have told somebody, but we were too scared, and I wanted to take him to the hospital, but Chris wouldn't let me.
Now I'm thinking, okay, someone's finally got to take Stewie to the hospital, but nope. Peter, in true Peter Griffin fashion, decides he's going to keep the whole thing under wraps too, or hats, so to speak.
Of hats, I need these by 4 o'clock.
Good idea. One of those hats would have helped him at the park today.
Chris, did you put a coonskin cap on Stewie?
No.
Why? They look like little robbers.
Like, what level of twisted is this family on? This is just sick. Stewie's been unconscious for several days now, and the head wound has only gotten way worse till it begins to stink.
Smell.
Okay, I don't care what you say. He's really hurt, and I'm gonna do what I should have done in the first place. I'm taking him to the hospital.
No. I got one last plan, Meg.
And what's Peter's last resort? He sees Lois pulling out of the driveway, and wait, he actually throws Stewie behind her rear tire to make it look like she's run him over.
Oh.
Oh my God.
All right, at this point, I'm ready to call the cops myself. But just when you think it couldn't get any worse, Lois, instead of freaking out, starts brainstorming on how to frame someone else's family's hopeless.
We have to cover this up.
Yeah, but what?
Let's put a hat on him to cover the wound, and then let's get some makeup and draw eyeballs on his eyelids and find a way to pin this on someone else.
I mean, seriously, what is wrong with this family? But I suppose nothing cements a marriage quite like seeing your wife think the same twisted thoughts.
I love you so much right now. Let's go to the hospital.
Now, everyone here definitely deserves some serious jail time.
Serious jail time.
Focusing on Chris today. Since he literally kicked off this whole mess, he'd be looking at some seriously hefty charges. For starters, assault for kicking Stewie down the stairs, and then child endangerment for refusing to get him help. Yeah, that's 6 years in prison with a $10,000 fine. I've got to say, things are not so pretty for Chris Griffin. With all the idiotic things he's done, the young chap's already looking at facing 24 years in prison, and not to mention his fines that are already towering at $140,000. There's really no easy way to put it. Chris is in some serious hot water. But guess what? It gets even darker than this for the blonde, naive teen. And this time around, his crimes cannot be excused on account of him being dumb or stupid. And we're starting with Halloween on Spooner Street. Chris Griffin takes things to another insane depth. This is not the first time Family Guy has hinted at the weirdly close bond between Chris and Meg. Let's not forget those bizarre moments where they're caught almost kissing. Or sharing a bath.
Chris, our bath is ready.
I don't know what to do now. I don't have the parenting skills necessary to deal with this.
I say we never speak of this again.
I
I might move. This time they take it much, much further. It's Halloween and things are about to get downright spooky for the Griffin family. First off, Chris decides to go as Bill Cosby in blackface. Blackface!
You can't go out dressed like that.
Why not?
What? Meg is also getting ready for her first high school Halloween party. She's got that prom night level of excitement.
Mom, I'm going to my first big high school Halloween party.
Oh, that's nice. What are you dressed as?
I'm wait up.
Her friends are all hyped up and they've decided the best way to score some attention is by wearing masks over their costumes.
There are masks, and we don't take them off for the whole party. The boys won't know who we are, and we'll have a better chance of hooking up.
Good idea!
We are so gonna hook up!
Yes, because high school boys are definitely into that. At the party, Meg's invited to play Spin the Bottle. It's all innocent enough until it's her turn, and the bottle points to some dude in an Optimus Prime costume.
Okay, slutty cat, you're up next.
Oh my god, this is totally working! Nobody knows who we are!
All right, slutty cat and Optimus Prime, into the closet.
After way more than 7 minutes, crowd gathers and busts open the closet door, only to reveal...
Use the closet. You guys! Oh my god.
Chris!
Her brother.
Seriously, Family Guy? What do you think this is, Game of Thrones? How do you end up locking lips with your own sibling?
Trying to grab some boo!
From your sister!
I didn't know it was you!
Well, who did you think it was?
In Chris's defense, maybe the mask threw him off. Optimus Prime,
Type of shit.
Meg, Megatron. There's a joke somewhere in there, I just can't find it. But
There's definitely a joke in there somewhere.
it's weird. Other than this being incredibly cringeworthy, Chris would be in big, big trouble. If you didn't know, is a serious criminal offense in most states. Penalties vary, but if GOAG operates under any typical state law, Chris could be looking at hefty fines or even an actual prison sentence. He'd be facing up to 10 years behind bars and a $10,000 fine. In The Heartbreak Dog, Chris is back at it, this time targeting the elderly. That's right, he stooped to a new level. It all begins with Meg getting stuck with a community service project at a local nursing home, and that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's a chance to help out the elderly, do something nice, do something good with your life.
Good?
No. Turns out seniors can actually be a little mean, go figure.
And between you and me, that ugly little Meg certainly has a boy's body odor.
Well, these seniors definitely picked the wrong girl to mess with. Meg isn't exactly known for her warmth and compassion, so when she spots a brute in one of the seniors' drawers, she decides to pay her back in her own coin. Or jewelry, in this case.
Here's your cream.
She doesn't even hesitate. She feels no guilt.
That woman's a nightmare.
But Meg doesn't just stop at one brooch, and that's where Chris comes in. He walks in and finds quite the loot from Meg's escapades. But if you think he'd do the sensible thing by advising her against stealing, you either A, haven't been paying attention to this video, B, haven't watched Family Guy, or C, both.
See how they treat me.
Meg, that's no just plain. Oh, that's someone else's glasses. Other people's.
Well, I guess he tried. But that's not all. He decides that maybe this is the kind of excitement that he's been missing out on. So naturally, he joins in, a little too eagerly, if I might add.
You do!
Wow, this is awesome. I want in.
Meg, of course, is more than happy to show him the ropes. So together they hit up another elderly resident.
Why are you in my room?
Oh, hi. You died, and I'm here to take you to heaven. Hurry, take everything, and be quick.
And with that, they ransack the place. Jewelry, watches, even a few set of dentures, basically anything that they can get their mutts on. After their successful looting, they're living the high life, surrounded
I bet they live in a high life.
Criminal geniuses.
Boy, it's just so comforting to be here, memories.
As if stealing isn't already a low on its own, they stole from the elderly with no conscience. Oh, wait, no, actually, never mind. They're starting to regret their actions.
What are we doing?
I feel awful. We need to give everything back.
Oh, you're right.
So yeah, they're not stone cold hardened criminals after all. They decide to return the stolen goods. It's a chance to do the right thing and walk away.
Oh, I bet.
Ha! Not so fast.
Definitely a
When they
chance
try
to do the right
sneak in
thing.
Stolen goods back, they get caught red-handed.
Stealing from the elderly.
Now, instead of being free to leave, clear off the books, they're stuck.
Time with us every afternoon after school, reading us the newspaper.
Uh-oh.
Monster.
So who's the actual monster here, Meg? Now, let's be real. This little stint of theirs wouldn't just end with Meg and Chris doing more community service. Oh, no. The law would definitely get involved here. In fact, Chris would definitely be facing quite the charge. He's not just an innocent bystander. He's an accomplice to elderly theft, grand theft to be precise. Chris would be looking at 10 years imprisonment and a fine of $10,000. In the episode Better Off Meg, Chris shows his dark side yet again. In order to
Grand
protect his
theft
newfound
retirement.
popularity because of Meg's death, he ensures that his sister stays dead. It all starts when Meg shows up in school to find it totally empty. Apparently, it's a skip day, but no one bothered to inform her.
Why are you here? It's skip day.
It's skip day? Nobody told me.
She's unpopular and unattractive.
She heads back home, but her family isn't there either.
Mom? Dad?
It's a bit weird, but it gets even weirder. When she calls her parents, they believe she's an impersonator because apparently they're already out together with the real Meg.
Oh,
Mom, where are you guys?
who is this?
It's Meg. Where is everyone?
Well, this can't be Meg. She's with us here at the pier.
Who is that?
Someone who says she's Meg.
This family needs a therapist, dude, or an optometrist. What makes the day even worse for her is that it's her birthday, but her family's ditched her. So she heads to the bowling alley alone to bowl. Fast forward a little, and she's dead.
Peter, Lois, it pains me above the waist to tell you that Meg is dead.
And that's when the Griffins realize that all along the barrel wasn't Meg.
What are you talking about? Meg's right here. You know, it's weird that didn't happen on the pier all day.
Or we rented that convertible?
It turns out Meg isn't actually dead, but a mishap at the bowling alley with her ID leads everyone to think that she's been mistaken for a car crash victim.
Driver's license at the scene.
Wait, did you give my ID to the wrong girl?
Meg is devastated by the news of her death and the realization that no one cares. So she decides to leave town and start a new life.
Will be better than previous times. This time is markedly different than the times we had before.
But over at the Griffin house, the family mourns over the death of Meg.
Miss you, Meg.
Stop it, Brian.
No, Meg.
Stop your crying. Stop it. Please stop. Stop. Stop it. Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop.
Have I mentioned that Peter's a dirtbag yet? Because if I have, I think I need to say it again. He's a dirtbag. Earlier at Meg's funeral, Chris noticed he was getting a lot of attention.
Hey, Chris, I'm super sorry your sister is dead. Mwah. If there's anything we can do to help you during your time of need.
Yes.
And he quickly made a connection.
Wow, are girls coming on to me because my sister died? Cool!
So armed with his newfound knowledge, he decides to milk it. A lot.
Be my selfie. I want to make Meg's death about me.
Hey, Chris, I couldn't help but notice how much attention you're getting. Want a high-five hug?
Hell yes!
Hang in there, brother.
I will, brother.
A lot. He's even got a brand new t-shirt.
Hey, Griffin, I heard you scored with the girls' basketball team yesterday.
Yep, 12 points and 8 rebounds.
Aw, Griffin, you're the man.
But his popularity may just fizzle away when Meg calls him desperate, confessing she's alive and in trouble.
Meg, are you alive?
Yes, I'll explain everything. Can you come meet me?
Chris can't believe it. Everything was going so well.
Nigga.
Missed you. I missed the whole family.
I'm glad you're alive, but you should know things are different now.
Dad finally got a Peloton?
Yeah.
So he shoves her into a moving van to protect his popularity.
Chris, what are you doing? Let me out!
Sorry, Meg, but I can't let you come home just yet. I'm too popular now.
Have I mentioned Chris is a dirtbag yet? Because if I have, I feel the need to say it again. He's a dirtbag. He has her trapped in a warehouse where the whole school is throwing a memorial for her.
Hello? Hello?
That's ruthless.
Where is everyone?
Ruthless.
The family. Oh, wait, Chris does.
Ooh.
Not only is this wildly cruel, but let's talk about the legal mess he's about to walk into. Now, under the U.S. law, false imprisonment is defined as restraining someone's freedom of movement without their consent. Shoving someone into a van and leaving them tied up falls under that criteria. Please, everyone, welcome Chris to another 10
And it's
years
trafficking.
prison time and another
It's trafficking, too.
$10,000 fine. This time, Chris ends up on offender list, and it's all because of two things: a smartphone from Peter and terrible advice from Neil. Oh, and a third reason:
Hey, what's up, Centura?
himself. In the episode, an app
Yo, what's going on tonight?
cell phone app.
Yo.
Cleveland uses one to identify a song.
Get this on my phone. You just download it. It's an app. Programs you use on your phone while driving.
Seriously, have you been living under a rock? So he loads up the phone with apps like at the buffet, and soon he gets addicted to it like every other human being on the planet, including myself.
Sweet.
What are you doing?
Well, I just found out about these. This one's a cool bowling app I got.
The phone gets wet in the shower and is damaged, and Peter decides to give it to Chris.
Hey, Chris, your first
Yo!
Yay! What could go wrong with handing a teen a broken phone? Well, it turns out Meg has some tech skills up her sleeves for some reason, and she helps Chris get the phone working again. But things take a turn for the bizarre when Chris cites his crush and decides to take advice from Neil Goldman. Yeah, Neil Goldman.
W's.
Of course, he listens to Neil and does what he's told right there on the spot.
Oh.
What happens next? Chris gets sent straight to the principal's office, and Officer Swanson's there too. Turns out sending a private photo, or should I say, a photo of your privates to someone who didn't ask
my God.
is a big deal.
And apparently the girl.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, I can see everybody's mad, but do you think?
I'm sorry, but this makes Chris offender.
So yeah, Chris is now labeled as an offender, but that's not all. His identity is
Chris Griffin was caught sending quote-unquote graphic selfies of his hog.
Consider his reputation toast. Chris just wants to apologize and set the record straight, but the law states that he has to attend a rehabilitation class. Now, who better to lead a rehabilitation class than the ultimate predator, Glenn Quagmire?
Good evening, I'm Glenn Quagmire, your instructor, offenders. And statistically, you will all be here again, because this has never worked.
After rehab, Chris returns, but he's still treated as an outcast and avoided like the plague. Heck, even Herbert's giving him the cold shoulder, and that's saying a lot.
Hi, Mr. Herbert.
Oh my God! Children, run! It's that pervert! Everybody into my safety basement!
That is Chavez all day, every day. Oh God, it's the pervert. Everyone running to my safety basement.
Giving him the cold shoulder, and that's saying a lot.
Hi, Mr. Herbert.
Oh my God! Children, run! It's that pervert! Everybody into my safety basement! Oh, that was a bad snap.
Desperate to fix his image again, Chris goes to Quagmire for advice, but he doesn't get the news he'd hoped for.
I'm sorry, Chris, but you're just gonna have to accept that from now on, people are gonna see you as a crazed pervert. And there's nothing you can do to change that.
Maybe there is.
Yeah, he's gonna have that stigma for life. Unless, of course, there's another option.
Well, the law does give you a choice. This or chemical castration.
Oh, is that what Michael Moore did?
Chris decides to go all in and
chemical castration
himself.
Hell no.
What the hell happened to you?
Safety basement.
Chemically castrated.
Why the hell would you do that?
Reason to be afraid of me or think I'm a pervert.
Was this really a better option? Peter and Lois are stunned. Turn to normal, but hold on for a sec.
I have celebratory news. Longer devoting to onanism.
That's special.
To redirect that energy into my studies. In fact, in biology.
Chris, that's great.
Chris starts thriving, and Peter and Lois have a change of heart.
Maybe there's a silver lining to this fiasco.
He does seem sharper.
Who knew the secret to success was no urges? With his libido on shutdown, Chris is becoming the school's next big thing. The former dumb kid is now acing his classes, tutoring others, and wait for it, he actually ends up impressing Marcy.
That was really something.
Marcy?
I really like your pendant.
Thanks.
But a little touch from Marcy at the library sparks a different kind of fire in Chris.
Not a drill. I repeat, not a drill. To be back doing this again, huh, Bill?
What, shoveling coal and...
What's happening?
And what happens next? Well, Chris does his best to handle the situation. He rushes to a corner of the library to unquench the fire, but the innocent librarian sees him, and it does not end well.
Oh, a pee-pee!
Well, Chris, you killed that librarian.
Mrs. Laporta worked at that school for 54 years.
The consequences would be a lot more severe for Chris in reality. Harassment and indecent exposure, he'd likely get 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. But for distribution of CP, that is a major offense and attracts 10 years behind bars and a fine of $25,000. So altogether, the dude's looking at 10 years in total, plus 6 months in jail, and fines totaling $27K. In the episode Secondhand Spoke, Chris again does a despicable thing to his family member just to remain who gets it. The episode opens with Brian dropping Chris off at school, and Chris walks into school, but he's confronted by bullies immediately.
Badass. Your boobs are bigger than your sister's.
Oh, yeah? Well, you have a sister as well.
That's your comeback?
I gotta say, Chris made it too easy for them with that sloppy comeback. But then Stewie sees this, and unlike everyone else, he actually feels sorry for Chris.
Oh my God, poor Chris.
He's a social outcast, like Scarface.
Stewie decides to help Chris out. When it comes to quick-witted insults that'll destroy your esteem, you can never go wrong with having Stewie as your tutor.
What'd you say if I said, "Hey there, shorty"?
I'd say have another donut, you albino gorilla.
Oh, yeah? Well, you have a sister as well. No, Stewie, I could never come up with stuff like
Damn.
you.
So to get Chris to effectively insult the bullies, Stewie comes up with a genius idea. He'll coach them in real time.
Here, put me on your back and repeat what I say.
And boom, it works.
Okay, now say,
I heard you were born out of your mom's butt. I heard that from your mom while I was doing her. You're a butt baby, that's why you've got moles all over your chest. Leftover birth duke.
Okay, he's got to work on the delivery a bit, but you know, he soon gets the hang of it. The bullies back off and Chris is feeling on top of the world now. The young chap is popular again, and he even gets nominated for class president.
Nominate Chris Griffin!
But here's where things fall from grace. Stewie thinks his job is done, and perhaps it's time for Chris to strike out on his own.
the good news is I've taught you everything you need to know to fend for yourself. So from now on, you can go to school without me.
But Chris doesn't want to jeopardize his popularity, so he does the unthinkable.
What are you doing?
You're coming to school with me whether you like it or not.
Let me out!
Kidnapping your own baby brother? Come on, man. The bar is already on the floor. How did you go beneath the dirt? Stewie is then forced to stay in Chris's backpack without food or water, churning out insults and comebacks for who knows how many days.
My imprisonment inside Chris's backpack. Feces and the build-up thereof continues to be my #1 problem.
And when Stewie tries escaping, he only makes it so far.
Must escape.
Sadly, he can't outrun his fate, or Chris Griffin's clumsy, insecure need to keep him around.
You're gonna die in there.
Dang, dude! Why would you say that to your own brother? Chris is such a pure villain at this point. At the class president debate, Stewie finally speaks up. He tells Chris he's turned into the very thing he once feared, a bully.
And you've repaid me with abuse. You're the bully, Chris Griffin.
And that's when Chris, in a rare moment of self-awareness, decides to drop out of the race and asks Stewie for forgiveness.
I may no longer be on your back, but I'll always be on your side.
Everything is all roses and sunshine again. Right?
I guess we put those bullies in their place, huh?
Yeah, 2 of them shot themselves.
Oh, that's so good to hear, Chris.
But if this all happened in the real world, oh boy, Chris would go down for kidnapping, holding Stewie against his will, and confining him to such terrible conditions under threat. He'd be facing 20 years in the slammer. Also, just an added bonus of a $10,000 fine. Now, when it comes to Chris Griffin's list of crimes, nothing quite beats what went down in the episode The D in Apartment 23. Seriously, this one's bad enough to send Chris away for life. It all started with a tweet. Brian takes Stewie to a university library where they stumble upon a protest. Apparently a professor casually telling someone to have a nice day is microaggression nowadays.
This week a professor told his class to have a nice day, which
And mass sexual harassment. Message.
is microaggression.
Brian decides it's time to dive back into the world of Twitterverse. After neglecting his account for years, he's suddenly back.
A lot of people like my stuff.
Oh, yeah? Hashtag Oompa Trumpa, 0 likes.
Then the Baywatch movie happens, and Brian takes a shot at Kevin Hart's new film. And this is where things go south. Brian's tweet goes viral. Offensive viral. Next thing you know, an angry mob is waiting for him outside the theater. Everything goes haywire because of the tweet, and now the Griffin family is branded as social outcasts.
Kurt, come on, it's me, Lunchtime Lois. Gil, no.
I told you about Brian. I told you.
But the hurt has been RT.
But here's where the real chaos begins. You see, Chris and Meg, just minding their own business at this point in a cafeteria, are confronted by a mob of students who want to take out their frustration on the Griffin siblings.
Your dog wrote an insensitive tweet.
It was just a joke.
There's no such thing as jokes anymore.
But Chris ain't having it. He takes a stand.
Meg, we're eating here.
I'd like to see you try.
And that's where everything goes from 0 to 100 like that. A full-blown violent brawl breaks out. Picture this, a literal bloodbath. Meg and Chris might have been outnumbered, but they sure make a killer team, quite literally. They lay waste to the entire cafeteria, turning it into a scene straight out of the first Kingsman movie.
Damn.
Dude, it's chaotic, it's brutal, it's a total mess. By the time the dust settles, bodies are mangled, battered, bloodied. Chris, with all the exasperation in the world, goes, "Get white."
All right, we're gonna check that out once we're done with this video.
Yeah, Chris, but no one can hear you over the dead bodies, my dude. Now, let's talk consequence. If Chris were to face charges for this, we're looking at... I wonder what we're looking at. Serious jail time. No, really? Yes. Manslaughter, mass murder. Chris is going to be doing a lot of time behind bars. The punishment for one murder is 30 years. And looking at all those bodies, I dare say Chris is going to be doing well over 600 years behind bars for mass murder. So guys, at the end of the day, Chris Griffin is facing a whopping fine of $207,000 and looking at a grand total prison sentence of, drumroll please,
1,000 hours.
684 years
Damn.
and 6 months. For someone who's technically done the least evil amongst his family, this is very concerning. But hey,
Yeah, but given his family is the Griffins, I mean, your little brother Stewie, he makes a ton of freaking inventions that are supposed to take over the world, you know, like Pinky and the Brain style. You know, your sister flashes people and they immediately disintegrate. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. It's your boy BlastphamousHD. Twizzams.